What's up, guys? It's your boys Wookie back out with some more of the Chris Watts videos. And yes, we're taking a little bit of a different aspect to it. Obviously, we want the case of looking at Nicole Kessinger, but this one is looking at the differences between the Rzuceks and the Watts family, which is aka Chris Watts' parents. A lot of people have been believing, and myself included, that there's something going on with the Watts and what could have changed or have developed with Chris that caused this problem. Am I saying that this thing? I'm not a parental family advocate. I don't know family doctor or not family doctors, but I'm not into psychology and not forensics, but psychology and sociology, not sociology, psycho what is it called? Psychopaths and so forth, what it could be passed down through generations and so forth. So we're going to take a look at the differences. I've definitely been sent this to quite a bit of few people that have wanted me to watch this. And they said the difference between the Rzuceks and the Watts is ridiculously abnormal. Where Rzuceks had lost a daughter and their grandbabies, the Watts had lost their grandbabies, technically lost their son to imprisonment, but not to death. But the Watts don't seem to necessarily overall feel for their granddaughters that are gone. So with that being said, what I want you guys to do is grab a chair, get comfortable, because we're going to be taking a look at the comparison between the Rzuceks and the Watts with not interrogation, but in interviews, and see the difference. So let's take a look. Make sure you guys, before we go any further, also make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel by hitting the white bar icon down the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it so I do post videos like this one. You guys will get that little ring notification that I posted a video. Then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you guys so very much for the continued love and support. You guys are doing fantastic, and I can't thank you guys enough. I am truly blessed for all of you guys. Once we get to 50,000 subscribers, one of you lucky people at home will be getting a Meta Quest 3 virtual reality headset for free. We're just shy of 44,000, so we got 6 more to go, 6 more thousand to go, and we'll get that virtual reality headset to one of you lucky people. So with that being said, we're going to watch Michelle After Dark's video of the comparison. You guys have mentioned it to me that I should take a look at this, watch it, and react. So that's what I'm doing, but I want to give the credit where it is due, which is Michelle After Dark. So give her some love, and let's get into the video.
That way,
that's awful.
Not what we wanted to have happen.
I know. The way these media people are, it's unbelievable, man. Yeah. Seriously. And
I'm sorry you
right after
find
we
out that
found
way.
out, family's calling. We're calling family, and this lady Carol calls, Carol McKinley from ABC News. I didn't know. I was like, "Is this Aunt Carol?" And she's like, "Yes." And I talked to her about 30 minutes. I was like, "Oh my God, can you believe this?" Crying to her. And towards the end of the conversation, she says something. I was like, "Who's this?" She was like, "Oh, this is Carol such and such." And I was like, "Are you for real? You let me, what a piece of shit,
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you're not releasing any of these things I'm telling you, right?" She's like, "No, not unless you give me access, whatever."
Consent.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hell no, especially since you took it from without me knowing,
right.
Didn't say anything before.
I was so mad. And ever since then, every time I answer my phone, I'm like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Even I got their number saved.
Right.
It's crazy. People fucked up. They
Yeah,
really are.
terrible.
People creating fake accounts for like I said with the Chris thing and.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean, we're sitting there. I'm watching the video of this cortex. We didn't really get to see it, and since this Chris Watts sent you a friend request, I'm like.
Are you kidding?
Why send it to me?
Yeah.
Send it to some other schmuck.
Yeah.
It's like I was bad enough to see his face all over the internet and all over TV. It's like your family went from normal life to this nightmare circus. Cameras everywhere, lights everywhere, people texting, calling, and everyone's been so nice. It's like I don't deserve it. I feel like I don't. It's not for me. It's for her and the kids. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Also for you,
here's some money. I'm like, no,
Frankie, because
please,
you lost your sister and your nieces.
I don't feel worthy, And I'd do anything to have them back.
Yeah.
You know, if I can give everything back to them, you know, I would.
Did you see that right there? Look at this. This says a lot. Chris is right there on his dang phone while Shanann is looking at the girls. That says a lot right there.
I would. But I don't know. Seeing him today and watching him in a video, I feel bad for him. I do.
Yeah.
I really do. I can't help it. I know what he did to my sister, and when I saw her house the other day, I saw a garage, knowing that was where they dead bodies left. It ate me up. But seeing him and watching him today, I was just, you know, watching the video when I got the Chris Watts thing, I was like, I still feel bad for him. I have a heart in my chest, you know, I do. And
Wow.
we loved the guy. We did. He was my brother. And it's just crazy.
Yeah.
They never fought, never did anything, never argued. Even Shanann, when I was there, when I moved out there, she was like, "Can you tell him to be a little bit of an asshole? You know, he'd come down, call me a bitch or something,
Yeah.
you know." And it's just one of those yes man, you know. He was in love with her. That's why he was in love. He was like obsessed. And I think maybe he probably had in his head, if I can't have you, no one will. And he either did that, and the kids had to have seen. I don't see any other way of why he would do that.
Yeah.
You know, at all. I really don't. But there's no
Definitely
doubt in
sounds
my
like
mind
Frankie's got a heart of
never,
gold.
Ever hurt some children. She found pistachios in my room, and she went off on me. She's like, "What are you thinking?" That's the worst nut she could be around. I was like, "I'm sorry, I've been here for like months. I didn't know. I'm sorry." You know, they're on my shelf. And she's like, "If you know CC, she can get to them." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry." So I went through my room, made sure everything was, you know, everything, chocolate, whatever. And she's very protective, and I mean, she was all over them. And,
That's why I didn't believe that she did anything.
yes.
They look so alike.
She loves her kids. Loved her more than anything in this world. She wasn't even supposed to have kids. She had lupus. They told her she would never have kids. She almost had endometriosis when she was young. She had so many scares, and you know, that's all she ever wanted was kids. Every time she seen a kid, she'd always hold one and walk around the house. She'd babysit them. I don't know, half the picture she's got with kids on her hips, all growing up. She just wanted to be a mom. And once she found out she was pregnant, it was crazy. Everyone's freaking out. I couldn't believe it. And
Oh, Bella.
and then my parents, they all flew out. I wish I could have came, but that's when I ended up moving out here. And then they found out about CC, and I was like, this is crazy, you know. And then she found out she was pregnant again. I was like, oh boy, this is a boy this time. I know it. I had a feeling. My mom did that little test with the needle in the string.
Yeah.
And it said boy, and I was like,
really?
oh, this is gonna be cool. You know, I was so excited, because you know, you got fun with your nieces and stuff all you want, but
Right.
a boy, you can go fishing. I mean, I can do that with girls, but you know what I mean. It's
Right.
like
No, I
The boy
understand.
thing.
boy things.
Yeah.
You know.
Shanann had set it up because I was out here for that week, and she wanted to come to visit everybody. It went from a week, then it went to 2 weeks. She says, "No, let me do it 6 weeks." She says, "Just spend the summer." So she set it up so she could have the air flight with me, so we can come back together, so she wouldn't try to put 2 little kids on an airplane by
Right.
herself. And when I had them, she said, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom or whatever." They were great. Then all of a sudden they're looking for mommy, so they take off. I was being like an O.J. Simpson going through the airports chasing these 2 little kids. And I caught them, and they were at the bathroom, and Bella was just like screaming like on top of her lungs, like somebody was trying to steal her. And I'm like, "Bella, your mother's coming." And I'm holding them, and right in the middle of an airport, and I'm like, "Oh my God!"
That's why there's
I'm
no
gonna
way
be
that they went
arrested here for
quiet.
These 2 little kids screaming for their
Right.
mother, and I was like right in front of the women's room, so I'm like sitting down. I wasn't about to try to pick them up and carry, and I'm like, these kids are like there to get me arrested and everything else. I'm like, you know, and when they came back to the house, they did the same thing with Chris. And
They love their dad.
now that I look at things and see what happened, why he may have done something like this. Maybe he just got tired of hearing his kids cry for mommy all the time and not him. And always, mommy disappeared, they're flying to her and not to him. And,
I mean, that happens with me too, but
maybe he had a little bit of a resentment.
sometimes you want mommy, sometimes you want daddy. I mean,
kids always go to their mother.
Yeah.
You know, they always go, mommy, 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 go. I say go. see your mommy. You want to go? Go. I'm better off. So things like that, after this fact, there is just, well, is this something that could have happened? When I left him at the airport to come back home, I left him. I was going down the escalator, and Celeste comes flying to the escalator. I go flying back up, but I don't need this little kid coming on his escalator. And it was just, give me a kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss. And they all came over to the elevator, and they're all blowing these kisses to me. And Chris's father was very close with the kids from what I can see all the time. Sometimes me and him be on a text message. She put a picture up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And me and him be like, beautiful, love it. And it seemed like me and him were like in competition to see which way we went with
Right.
the picture, And,
But what about Cindy?
So, but Chris and his parents they're different than I'll say from us. I mean, it seems as though we have heart and feelings, and sometimes you see them and some stuff didn't bother them. Now that could be just the way they're brought up. I have people are brought up all different ways, but I feel that also Chris may have thought that if something did happen just to Shanann, he knew it would happen to him, but maybe he knew that, hey, no, these kids are not going to her parents. So these things run through my head, in thinking of what maybe he was thinking of,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is it normal for them to come out for that long during the summer?
No, this was the first time Shanann did it.
Okay.
Because she knew that she was going to be pregnant and that she would be able to come, start flying. And she figured that if she came out, she'd be able to spend time with us and his family.
Okay.
So that everybody could see the kids for the summer and do whatever, we could do. We all were planning on like going to the beach at the end of because Chris was coming out the last week. And we were all planning his family and everybody, go to the beach and everybody have a good time. So no, they never come out that long. Because she called me up and she said, "Dad, I'm gonna come out for the summer. Come out for in the summertime and spend time with you guys. Because we always come out here to watch the kids. Me and the wife always come out and take time. We take our vacations to come out here and watch the kids while they go on their vacations because the company pays for everything. So we come out. Okay, yeah, great, because we get to spend time with the kids. So
Right.
one of us come out here." So it wasn't, this was totally, different. Like she said, "I'll come out for 2 weeks." I said, "Okay, no problem." And then she called me back, says, "Well, maybe I'll come out for a little longer." I said, "Can you handle being with your mother longer?" "Well, I'll just have to try to work that out." I said, "Okay." Because they're, my wife always says, "My kids don't take after me." I said, "Oh, your daughter is, you guys, and me and my son are the same way. It's like, butt heads all the time.
Right.
It could be the simplest thing, and we're just butting heads. So it's not like they fought. It was just they just butt heads." And I said, "Well, if you can handle it, then fine." And then she said, "Okay." And then she called me back. I said, "Well, Mom's birthday's coming up too, and maybe we'll just stay out there for a little longer and just spend. I'll go stay here with you, and then go by Chris's family, and we go back and forth. No problem." So it was nothing. That was the first time it happened. And I guess it gave him time to think about what he's going to do. 'Cause I don't think this was a spur of the moment thing.
Why are you saying that?
Well, because stuff don't add up. Why would you move the car out of the garage? Supposedly we're here and you have a girlfriend. You pretty much knew where to take him.
See,
I don't
for
know
those
why you would
people
take
that
him
sit
to
there
your
and
job.
say that the Rzuceks know about Nicole, they don't know about Nicole. They don't know about that part of the side of the case. So they're like, well, the Rzuceks know everything. I don't think they were told as much as they should have been told. Just saying.
I mean, there's plenty of places out in Colorado. I drove for Lowe's out here, and I went to the mountains, and there's some canyons out there that I don't think anybody be found.
Right.
And it just doesn't add up the
doesn't.
way it happened, you know. And the thing is, it's just, you know, you taking the car out of the garage and doing these different things that you never ever do.
So when did that happen? When did he take the car out of the garage? Do you know?
I don't know the dates.
Okay.
Nate would know if you need to speak to him. He would. I mean, he'd probably be able to give you a better idea. But I know he said, yeah, it was like a few weeks he was gone, and he pulls the car out, and not parks it across the street, but parks it down the street. You know, like, why would you do that? And my daughter got the Lexus through the company. They make a certain amount of money, and then they give you money to go out. They give you, it's like a Lexus, Mercedes, Audi. You got to get all these big expensive cars. And so she hit her thing, and they give her the, you know, you go out and you get your car, and then they send you, I think they were saying she gets like $800 a month for the car. So they pay for the car, plus you get your money and everything else. And but why would he park his car? And I was sitting there when Shanann called him up that night before he was coming. She said, why don't you call an Uber to make sure you get a ride to the airport? Because this airport's expensive as hell to pay for. And he said, all right, I'll do that. And then he came out and he said, no, I forgot to get an Uber. I left the car out at the airport. And she was like, you left my car outside. And then she heard you guys had that hailstorm, and she was like, oh my God, what are you doing, Chris? Better not go back and find it damaged. And we were driving home, I was driving him up there, and I said, Chris, I hope that car ain't damaged, buddy. He said, yeah, I'll just go out there and get it and just make the phone call and make the claim and not go back. I was like, a good idea. I mean, you know, I don't, the things that
See,
he was
it sounds
doing
like the
prior to
Rzuceks definitely loved Chris. Like, they showed genuine affection towards their son-in-law, their brother-in-law, whatever have you. But the reciprocation for Cindy and Ronnie didn't seem like it was there for Shanann. Why is that? I mean, it just
I'm hearing doesn't add up to him
just because Cindy and
on spur of the moment doing
Shanann get along.
So it'd definitely be.
My daughter, even though she was 15 months pregnant, is a fighter. She has legs on her to throw you across this room.
That's why I think he surprised her.
And if he did do something, he did this, I still say he did this while she was sleeping.
Part of the second week, the next 4 weeks. No contact with her, got 2 grandkids, one of those 2 grandkids. They're 30 miles away. And we planned on going down to the beach with them and everything else, and big cookout at my daughter's house and everything. All that got blowed out. And when we did go to the beach, we were at Myrtle Beach, and there was that Norfolk Beach, 5 miles apart, still didn't see them. And I said, well, okay, that's good. And I'm just finished. There's no scenario the same time was going on. Well, my mother's in a rehab center. She's like 93 years old. And then Dad went up there and see her on her birthday, and then we went to have a birthday party with her. And when they got back from the beach, I think it was on that Monday, they went to see her. And Chris told me, said that he wanted to come see us before he left, because he hadn't seen us the whole week been down there. He'd been with them. So I went and picked them up, and at the rehab center where my mother was staying at, and Shanann and all them already left. They left them there for me to go pick up. So, you know, got in the house, had a couple beers, go down some steaks and stuff. My daughter come over, and my son-in-law, my other grandkids come over and stuff. And about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I said, well, good thing is, we'll just text her, just you can bring her back in the morning, you know, it's too late to be running all the way back up to 7 miles now. He texted her, no, you know, I'm just like, I'm going to get your ass right now. You ain't staying there. So 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I had to take him back to Southern Pine, because she demanded it has to be back there. She said, I need the help getting stuff ready to go back on the trip. And this was only 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. What are you going to do that night that you can't do the next morning when a flight don't leave at 7 o'clock that night, the next night?
Well, the question I was just gonna ask, so when she went back to her parents' house, did Chris stay with you guys? Or did he go with her back to that?
No, the only time Chris was down there was, last week.
Oh, so this was prior to that?
Yeah.
Prior to last
Yeah,
week?
that was the last week, which we said, well, we lost our son again, because the whole time that, when that last thing happened, we didn't have no contact with either one of them for the next, 3-4 weeks, whatever it was, till he come down.
And then when he came down, did they come visit again at your house?
No, she wouldn't come in. She wouldn't let the kids to our house.
And did Chris stay with you guys for that week? Or he went there?
He went to stay with her parents,
Okay.
so that's what she wanted.
So do you think that she has a controlling personality?
Very, very controlling.
Like
Otherwise,
Cindy?
she's like a narcissist, and something else she called him. I can't remember the other name that she uses sometimes. That's what she says, she's a narcissist personality, what she said. Sometimes I think she's bipolar. He says she goes from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. I mean, it's totally.
Would you say she's volatile? Or she can get angry quickly?
Well, I have never seen that side of her, but every time I see one of my wife, my wife said she was.
You kind of almost killed the
Yeah,
grandchildren with the peanut ice cream.
You actually believe that? You do the videos of that. She loves the kids. She never do that hurt on the kids.
Did you ever see her and Chris fighting? They ever yelling and screaming at each other?
See, this is like, you hear the Rzuceks and you hear them say, oh, Chris and them never fought. They were touchy-feely and lovey and dovey and whatever have you. I mean, couples fight, they're going to do whatever. But when you hear from the Watts, all they can say is they're fighting, they're yelling, they're complaining. So it's just like, what the frick? Why is the family is so different?
That's the first time they've been out in North Carolina in years. Come up here, it's a lot cheaper for us to come up here than all of them to come down here.
Sure. Any indication of violence between them? Anybody, did she ever hit him? Did he ever hit her? Any kind of, anywhere it got physical?
I never known Chris to be pistol at all besides when he played football back when he was in Pee Wee League. He was middle linebacker back then.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so when he comes and he visits, he winds up staying up with them, and you guys don't see each other for that last week, but do you see Chris?
This is just that last night before they left.
Last night. Okay. Does he come with the kids or just by himself?
By himself. When she won't let the kids come over, that's when they said they went to see my mother, which is in a rehab center, which is like 7-8 miles from my house. Because he said he wanted to see us, he knew if we left. But he got to see us for that time when we went down there, or we went down there.
Gotcha. So then, do they fly back to Colorado together?
Yeah.
And do you think that's around the 9th or 10th, something like that?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, because she flew out, because I think he went back to work on that Wednesday and Thursday. No, I think she flew out on Friday, if I'm mistaken. And come back that Monday, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, when her flight come back.
And then when they come back here, you think she's here for a day or two, and then she goes on that trip to Arizona?
Yeah.
And she didn't take the kids with her on that trip, right?
No, she'll never take kids with her.
Never take. And then, so Chris, he's working. Is there a babysitter or somebody else? Do you have
Out there in the daycare.
Daycare.
So definitely very interesting. I mean, obviously we have differences between families. I mean, my family is definitely different. I don't get along with my mother-in-law, unfortunately. I definitely didn't think I had any problems with her, but I'm not trying to bring my stuff into this, but my fiance definitely gets along with my parents. But then when it comes to my mother-in-law, I don't get along with her because she doesn't like things that I did. But with this family, the same thing. It's like Cindy doesn't like Shanann, so then it pushed them away from that family. I kind of feel the same thing about my mother-in-law, where she doesn't like me, pushed me away kind of thing. it just, I understand where they're coming from, but the Rzuceks definitely were always about saying that they loved each other. They were in this and this and this. But when you listen to Ronnie and Cindy, they just whole different atmosphere. They blamed Shanann. They blamed her for this. They blamed her for that. But then the Rzuceks are like, even though Chris did this, I mean, they still have a heart. They still care. I mean, the Rzucek, Mrs. Rzucek, wanted the death penalty for Chris, and we thought it was the dad. And then it just, there's a definitely big comparison between the different love that each family had for one another on the other spouse, their in-law. But you can definitely see Chris being subtle, secure, more shy to himself, where Shanann was boisterous. She was out there. She was go-getter, and you see that from her parents. Or the Watts, you see that in their son. So, could that be a possibility of blaming? I would say blaming the parents, but the upbringing, is that a possibility of reason that Chris caused the murders? I mean, again, Nicole had her placement, Chris had his placement of the murders, but was it due to differences in love, affection being brought up? And so let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would surely love to see your guys' opinions of both families, both sides. Did it contribute to the murders, whatever have you? Just let me know. We'll be doing more videos, of course, obviously, as normal, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys next time.